And we're back. Marvelous. We have returned. We've had a short break, as have the teams. Time to digest that game of Counter-Strike and move on to Dust 2. A nice open map. And with people like Elige top fragging, there are going to be problems for INTZ. I think that's reasonable to say. Mirage was the pick. I mean, you can't really counterpick Team Liquid. They're not one of those teams you can necessarily counterpick, in my opinion, at this point in their team's career, if that makes any sense. So we go to Dust 2. Not a bad map for INTZ on paper, just due to the simplicity of it. I mean, everybody should understand the fundamentals of Dust 2. The problem is playing them out and having that coordination and being able to beat a team with the mechanical prowess of Team Liquid. The pure level of skill on the team is something to be reckoned with. Maybe we'll see Nafly sniping as well. I do believe the knife is live. I love seeing some knives, man.
So who did we have? My memory, we had 4 best threes yesterday. Who did INTZ beat?
Cloud9.
Cloud9.
Cloud9. Right. So the way that Yell was playing yesterday, super sick.
Yes.
That wasn't the same player we just saw.
The problem is he's up against greater opposition. You don't have the freedom to do.
No, but he wasn't even trying to do anything. He wasn't trying to be aggressive. Like, when did he go aggressive on the CT side?
Yeah, he was holding like upper B with the op and stuff.
Just passive holding. Like, that's completely different from what we saw against Cloud9.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like, and Liquid are not Astralis.
Does that mean he's afraid of Liquid?
Because, well, this is the thing, like, Liquid is not Astralis. Like, Astralis is like a very tactical team. Those are the teams that are going to stop you from being able to get the angles you want, make the aggressions you want. Liquid are tactical, but they're not to that level.
There's a comparison with Sharks here, because if you respect your opponent too much, you're not going to be able to play your best game against your opponent. Sharks didn't respect nothing when they played Team Liquid.
Yeah.
They didn't respect anything. They were hyper-aggressive. They made plays they felt like making, and I think that really helps. You have to play with confidence in your own game.
Love this.
If you play with doubt,
I love this push.
then you'll never be what you could be.
This is my favorite thing to do on this map.
Be all you can be.
It's a bomb. Get a kill, get a kill. Yes, now have to go back for the bomb, but perhaps the Zan had to win that first battle for that to really work out for them. They're going to double down. They're double down, Stewie. 3 kill for Stu. And another one as well. Blocks are pretty good, James.
Why did he switch for the USB then?
For the range.
Have a look at this. Where's the Bears now? Someone take a screenshot. Someone take a screenshot at home and tweet it to me and copy the Bears in and just quote me as saying, where is the Bears now? He needs to see that
Or the USPs.
Screenshot. 4 Ts alive, 1 CT alive, everybody with USPs. Tell me again about your Glocks. I'll see you next week, the Bears.
You can't do that with the USP.
I'll see you next week, Eric.
Can't do any of those things with USP, James.
Yeah, well, you can't headshot from 3 times the distance with a Glock, can you?
Yeah, but if you can spam someone in the face.
Yeah, but. There's the but. INTZ will have 4 Desert Eagles now and the scouts on DL. We spoke about this before, and Yell not getting the AWP as quickly as he otherwise might.
Oh my god.
This is pretty good. That's quite the choke point in long doors. Now Yell is alone. That is quite the massacre.
Everyone just standing in one spot, fighting each other. It's pretty amusing.
Stu got a little high feed there.
Yeah.
He goes down, 2 more people go down behind him.
But yeah, we saw yesterday on Inferno in particular was Yell didn't get Norp on the CT side until like, it was I think the 6th rounds or so, and he had just played the previous map, just smashing everyone with an AWP, and it's like as soon as he gets it, the game completely changes, and it's like why are you guys screwing your own economy up so badly that your AWPer can't AWP? Treat it like Avangard treat Jame, you know. I feel like Yell can rise to new heights on this team, James.
I hope so.
Now he's
I want that for Yell.
Dedicated AWP, and he's capable of it. He's capable.
I believe.
That said, Jame is really smart. He's a really smart AWPer as well.
He has a lot of time to think.
Yeah. I mean, Jame is great because he can be very explosive. He can be a battle AWPer, but he can also be very smart. He understands.
How many knives does Elige have? He must have his knives on shuffle.
What do you mean?
Because last game he had a Karambit on the T side. He had an Ursus knife on the CT side. Now he's rocking a bayonet, which is also a stat track.
Maybe it's every knife.
He could do. I love the shuffle. The shuffle command is brilliant. Basically, every time you connect to the server, your skins which are on shuffle will shuffle. It's brilliant. I love it. I get so much joy from it. I really do. I'm not exaggerating. I actually really love it. A lot.
I didn't even know it was a command.
Yeah. So if you click on your loadout and you select a weapon, there's an option that says shuffle, like let's say M4A1S for CT or something. So every time you connect, it's a different one. And you can add or remove skins from that shuffle as well.
That's awesome.
So I have normally 10 knives shuffling on my T side.
10 knives.
And I use one knife with the stat track knife on my CT side, for example.
I like
Anyway.
that flex.
We have an anti-eco round from Team Liquid. Nitro by the car. For those of you at home, if someone is hiding behind the car, you can shoot through the windows. Don't be shy, give it a try. Gotta watch the smoke when you cross. And if you have the numbers, then not everybody should cross. So you can deal with the flank. You can deal with the players coming in from the back. Excuse me. The air quality in Los Angeles is not amazing. And it affects my asthma, so I tend to cough a little more when I'm out here.
Is there anything you can do to improve your lungs?
Have better oxygen.
Well,
maybe I should walk around with a mask. You know, fitness makes the asthma symptoms worse. Doing sports, playing football, and so on. But anyway, it's a buy round. Destiny is slightly blind, but he is going to have help from Cello. He will take Twist out. The shadow advantage is here for the CT side, excuse me. They're doing pretty well to hold down a short position. Eventually, they will be overwhelmed by the numbers, by the Horde. The Liquid Horde, and that leaves Nafly alone after getting orbs by Yell. He looks to deliver another one, misses the shot, but 3 versus 1, you can't really complain too much. Nafly puts the smoke up to create some space, time to plant the bomb, but the flank is coming from the short position. They should see his arse hanging out, and he will be punished for it. First round goes the way of INTZ.
It's a big pickup. Getting on the board straight away. Nice defense around Cat. It's really getting so much value here. The question is, can they make it consistent? Because obviously they get all those kills on Cat, which seemingly stops Liquid from having the relevant flashbangs or molotovs to actually prevent themselves from getting picked from Yell. Here we go, Yell's changed position. He's in middle now. He was in A before, now he's mid.
It's nice to rotate the sniper to avoid him getting countered or avoided. Element of surprise is very important in Counter-Strike, which is why you don't want to give too many sounds away for free. Everything comes at a cost. Look over the smoke. I remember Existence was always trying to do this on the old Dust 2 with mixed results.
Is he still playing?
I believe so. I would like to see him sniping again. Like the very old days. Be a nice change. Sometimes change is needed. Sometimes change is required. Sometimes two people need to separate and go to different ways. Sometimes a sniper's got to snipe. Because he was a sniper back in the day, in the Source days, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was a carry.
Yeah. So why not go back to that? Why not add a new element to...
Get back to 10 years ago. Yeah, that sounds good.
Why not?
Let's do it.
Why not?
You know Gabi used to be insane too. In 1.6.
Sniping?
Like a carry, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
You should watch Mouse Sports, the Mouse Sports movie from 2010, James.
Like in the 1.6 days, I didn't watch competitive CS. I was just a pleb on Scout Sniper, and Eagle on the Scout. I knew of CPL, but
Nice.
that's about it. I was a pleb.
Really nice aggression coming in from INTZ in this round. They're really taking the bull by the horns. Taking the horse by the
Reins?
horse parts.
Horse parts? What kind of horse parts, Dan?
I don't know, I'm leaving it up for you to decide. Ambiguous.
I don't like your stories. They're weird.
Take the horse by the parts. The old saying goes. So now Liquid
This
have their
is day one for Paul Valens, man.
objective is getting some
Hell's wrong with
damage. Ooh. Zan's head has been popped. Like a grape. Like a raspberry, maybe.
can't pop a... Have you ever seen a raspberry there? You can't pop a raspberry.
Do raspberries have splinters?
Splinters?
They're soft, but they're splinters, right?
Like what?
In the actual raspberry?
What bits of wood?
No.
in there?
No.
Nah.
They have hair.
Aren't they furry though?
Yeah, they got some hair in there.
They can be a little furry, yeah.
Do you like fairy fruit, James, in general? What's your favorite fairy fruit?
Did you say fairy fruit?
Fairy.
Fairy fruit.
What's your favorite fairy fruit?
I don't have subcategories of fruit with fur on.
Peaches?
What about nectarines? Are they furry? Is it
No.
nectarines?
I think nectarines
What's
are
that
more
orangey yellow one? Is that nectarine?
I think so.
They're a bit furry, aren't they?
Nectarine's like an orange. Or tangerine, satsuma.
They're not furry.
They're not.
Orange is not furry.
No, but you said like a nectarine.
No, I don't think nectarines are like oranges. They're like peaches.
Are they like peaches?
I think so.
Kiwi. So you go.
Yeah, that's a...
Well, we've got the spray down.
Even by my standards, we're having really weird conversations today.
I try to throw you off and see, just want to see what happens. Sometimes, because sometimes I'll say something and nothing will happen. Sometimes we'll go on a whole adventure, and it's a good old time.
So you think that an orange is a furry fruit? That's all I got from that conversation. But anyway, you'll have to defend yourself later because INTZ have got 4 rounds in a row. They've taken the lead versus Team Liquid.
Are they gonna keep up the aggression? It's been working out really well, the early round aggression. But Liquid, I'm sure, is gonna be catching on.
It's hard to sustain. You can use it like 2 different ways. You can 2/2.5 ways you can do aggression on this map.
Oh, here's a third.
All right, it's 3.5. That's a kind of a nice. Is that a? Did they set? I guess it's a one-way.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But I guess it's very suspicious. If you're Liquid, you kind of know what's up.
What's up with the smoke, by the way? I always see Stanislav trying to make a play in the smoke, or Breezy.
Inside the smoke.
Yeah.
So like we were talking about this earlier. So apparently you get if you're in the smoke as it's dissipating, and if you're in the center of the smoke, you get a one-way in any direction as it's dissipating. I don't know for how long that one-way is enabled, but it's not even half a second. So
all I'm hearing is variance.
But that can make the difference. I mean, I've seen a lot of people make successful kills from that kind of a play. So it's interesting because that's something I think has been more in the meta, and only in like the last year or so. People are understanding more and more about smokes, especially Glaive.
Mid to B smoke. You can throw this from outside the long doors as well. Set up smoke, Avangard smokes. Shallows got to be careful with the barrel of his gun as it may concede his position. So it's not quite the goose play. He lets one go. Where's the remainder? He continues, but he can't find a third. Has he done enough? Perhaps he has, because for a brief second it was a 5 versus 2. 4 versus 2 might do the job, although Stu with an AWP can be a problem. He tags Zand. Couldn't quite find his head. He will deliver the bomb plant, but a jumping Zand will find his revenge. The black and yellow gloves continue. He's even got the Dragon Law now to just finish off the theme.
That was very consistent, the jump shooting there. So INTZ are being extremely successful on their CT side. Liquid seemingly struggling to get value. Like, the weird thing here is that the weird thing is that this does seem kind of disjointed from Liquid. So you talk about the Avangard smokes, but the way that the mollies and flashes are set up and the coordination behind it didn't look all that in sync. Like, it shouldn't be the case that Yao can pop out and get a pick before he's pressured by Molotovs. Now, Cello's position's pretty good, but I don't think that's the one spot Avangard don't really have covered, but they have like 3 players pushing at once, so it's hard to make a kill from that spot.
That was a very deep smoke.
What do you make of this, Valence? What is your assessment of Team Liquid here?
What's the prognosis? Is it terminal?
I don't think they've really had long spawns yet. And I mean, Dust2, you can do a lot with getting got out blue like we saw in the last game with Astralis. So I think they need a little bit of more aggression around long A, and they haven't even got up Cat yet, really, besides that one round with the exact. So a little bit more pressure early run, I think, is needed. And that's what happens, right? The INTZ was doing early round aggression. Now Liquid is trying to be a little bit more careful, but then they become a little bit more predictable towards the mid round.
Six rounds in a row for INTZ. Can they be stopped at this point? You start to wonder. Team Liquid with another chance. Maximum loss bonus. If they plant the bomb, they get $4,200 per round. But they haven't been doing that many bomb plants outside of the pistol and its associated rounds. Just the one bomb plant. Yell eats a bullet through the door. Destiny falls back. That smoke will allow players to make their way into the pit. So that'll compromise the deeper angles for INTZ. And long will be an unknown in terms of numbers, in terms of a push, perhaps.
It's perfect. Then gets to set up in the pit with the op and probably do some kind of A split. Naf is all the way in T-spawn still.
There aren't many snipers who, in a similar situation on the A bomb site, will stand on the boxes to peek towards long in order to try and get legged rather than shot in the chest from a normal peek on site. Very few do it if a peek is to come in. INTZ very reactive. Look at the investment, the man investment towards the A bomb site. There are 4 players deep on A. And Liquid are still waiting. 4 players long, 4 players sight. The smokes will be delivered. Nafly is in suicide, keeping an eye on things.
He'll be the X factor in this round, unless he just stays green box and does nothing. Let's see.
Yeah, he's throwing a flash. Maybe for somebody potentially in the mid doors, but we'll expect that there are 4 people deep on the site. 35 seconds for Liquid as 3 of them start to push. There are flashbangs definitely with a transfer. Nitro will get 2 there, 1 for Molotov, and SHZ still trying to hold things down on the bomb site. And now 2 remain for Liquid. They've been patient, but INTZ committed themselves like zealots to the A bomb site, and it might just pay off. Perhaps they'll be made Cardinals after this. Nafly alone, 1 versus 3, and it seems he's given up on this one. 13 seconds, not enough time to really make a play here. INTZ gambled, and it paid off.
That was an odd decision. Liquid had a lot of map control. They had long super early. They got their operant pit, and they did nothing to regain any kind of mid or cat. And Naf was pretty much just useless the entire round. You saw he came back and went late long, which was, he's never going to win a round like that.
Not having an active role in the round at that point.
The hero flash from Sand. I swear, I've seen Destiny in this series get so many spray downs. Multi-crack spray downs.
They're building money.
He had one in Catwalk, he had one on a really big one on the first map in Mirage. That's a nice one, Sand, going aggressive. Gets punished.
It's the kind of thing that could turn momentum back into Liquid's favour. 7 rounds in a row for INTZ. And let's not forget, they've had 1 bomb plant in these 7 rounds. But now they've been gifted an early 5 versus 4. And that might be what turns things around here. INTZ could potentially quickly run out of steam. Seen it happen before to this team, to other teams. Maybe they've given Liquid a way back into this half.
Elise has 0 kills, guys.
Does. He's gonna get a kill now. You've ruined that. A nice pick coming through. He takes his time, takes some damage, but gets the shot in the end, and the bomb's being collected as a control has been had. Maybe Elise won't get a kill because there's save has been called for INTZ. They have 7 rounds. It's already a really good CT side.
I have a question, right? When you have a player run up mid like that on the CT side, how many kills are acceptable to make the play worthwhile? Is it 1 or is it 2?
Well, I think it can be like information too, right? Can be pretty impactful because if he
information at the beginning of a round.
Yeah, because
when you're 4 versus 5.
Yeah, because I mean, like if for example, depending on what he sees, you know, it might be the opportunity that you can take a pretty good gamble for a push up a dark or a push elsewhere. You know, it can be some positions or potentially.
Yeah, but he's gonna die, right?
I think 1 kill and info, or 2 kills and 0 info.
There you go.
Because he's going to die. He runs up mid, you have to expect to be fragged.
Yeah.
So what is the value? What is the minimal acceptable value for the play?
I guess also.
I think you've got to get a frag at least.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Because he also had Yell And Yell's job obviously is to support him. I don't know if there was a player catwalk or close enough catwalk that could have maybe also
Not in
taken
time
some
for
mid
that, I don't
control
think.
with Zan, or if that was like a very solo play. Was
I
that
think
like
he
a
just
purely
rushed up
solo
mid.
play?
Yeah, it looked pretty solo.
Pretty alone. It's lonely out there.
Yeah, because for me, I feel like I'm not saying I don't want to say they shouldn't do it, but I feel like you got 7 solid rounds in a row versus one of the best teams in the world. I feel like you're inviting variance when you don't necessarily need to. I mean, some people take larger risks when they've got the money to survive it, but that kind of risk, I feel like, is kind of crazy. But again, not respecting your opponent is important as well.
Yeah.
And maybe throwing that in there is some psychological warfare, but Liquid don't seem too upset with that.
Yeah, I mean, they have 7 rounds already. That's already a really good CT side. You can maybe take the right risks in the right places to landslide it, but...
I wonder if this is going to be a fake mid to B, because they already have Liege lurked out mid, and they have cat control. And that would probably destroy INTZ.
Yeah, Twist has a smoke, so he can redo that lurk smoke. Now usually you have one that draw out some CT nades, maybe some rotation, then the second one, and then the other team's like, okay, now they're doing something with this. Either it's going to be the fake or it's going to be the actual play. They got to figure it out. 3 players on the site. Now this Molotovs, that's going to really create problems. If these mollies go in the right spots, that creates issues.
Force forward are the CTs. 2 men sliding in from the ramp, and that's a flurry of kills for Team Liquid. There's momentum I thought would probably come after the previous rounds. Maybe the nature of this half will change now that INTZ are on the back foot. Their money is slipping away. Again, they do have the money to survive this one. If they could hold on to these 2 weapons, that would be really important. Not going to happen, though. SH said with 10,000 plus in the bank will be useful to spread the wealth.
It's pretty impressive how they actually picked up this lead in the first place. And with all the aggressions, I feel like it's kind of rare that, like, you know, because it's a kind of a high risk way to start off your CT side. And I feel like it's fairly rare that you see teams convert it as well as this. So that's really good by INTZ.
Yeah, one pitfall you might fall into though is think, oh, we got kind of lucky with those early round aggression. What can we do now? And you kind of mind game yourself instead of just knowing how to play default. They tried to play default there. It was a 3-2 setup, but the exec was too strong. 2 people dropped for Liquid and just ran up and killed the guys on ramp. So it's, you know, that'll happen sometimes.
Some tagging with the Krieg through the doors.
No headshots like Glaive though.
Yeah. It's a lot of junk to look through with the AWP. Not easy to look through flames alone, let alone the dirt kicked up from a HE grenade. Seen some funky plays from JW behind HE grenades. Oh, so long ago. Cello with an off angle. Liquid with a take off the short position. Got the molly behind the stairs. Deep flashbang for the ledge, for the ridge, whichever you prefer. 3 INTZ players light in weight. Now post grenades, will they make a forward play towards this position? Indeed they will with an AWP. I think this is pretty common, but Cello is exposed. He's blind. He's still going to get a kill somehow. The exchange continues and INTZ come out on top. They have no eyes towards long. There is a Molotov there. Destiny will go and have a look. He will see no one, and in the meantime, he's gone deep towards long, and Liquid are going to rotate straight to the B bomb site in response.
Still 2 players here though that can make plays, trying to get a quick 1v1. Not going to work out.
Yikes.
Ooh. That's a drive-by.
That's not good for INTZ. They have to save now.
So I guess the Molotov in long doors was to bait the rotation from INTZ with the exchange on short, which worked out successfully, and put them in a horrible position to deal with a play towards B. And now here we are.
Here we are.
We got the glove combo where the fade goes through to the knife, essentially. That's cool.
Do you want skins for anything else, James, in the game? There's nothing else really to skin, I guess.
pretty much have everything I want. I had a Dragon Lore, but I sold it to partly pay for the watch I'm holding right now.
But I mean, like...
So I sacrificed. That's what I'm talking about. I bought myself a nice watch, and I sold myself some nice skins. Sold away my nice skins.
But initially, when you got the nice skins, what was your sacrifice?
That was pre-sacrifice.
Okay.
That was pre-sacrifice. That was building the, you know, the exchange.
Gotcha.
Right.
Got to build up the bank.
Yeah.
It's almost like you did a trade-up contract, but you got a watch in real life.
That's a very nice watch.
I suppose. I go diving with this watch. I went wreck diving in Aruba with this watch.
That's
I threw
crazy.
up in the sea, inside the sea, while I was wearing this watch.
You threw up?
Yeah, that's a long story. There's time later. Plenty of time for my puking inside the sea stories.
66 HP loss. Is that worth it?
Sometimes you've got to take a risk. The risk won't always pay off, but when it does, it can be quite dramatic. So you can't be outcome-oriented, Valens. You should know this.
Is it worth going for? That's better.
Well, the long, yeah, I think so. Nearly 5 versus 4. If you look at the statistics for conversions on 5 versus 4s, they're pretty high. They're like 70-ish%.
The less people the other team has, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
I could have told you that, James.
I would expect you could have told me that. I would expect nothing less from you, Valens. That's partly why I've invited you here for this week.
Much appreciation.
You're a man of numbers.
You're a man of mans.
I'm a man of a long list of things. I have a great many hobbies. Still 10 players on the server though. Again, the risk was taken and it didn't pay off, but no one was, there were no fatal injuries, shall we say.
Oh, that's super risky.
Ooh, the driest of dry peaks. There's no lotion for miles on that one. And it's cost him 2 players as Liquid moved towards the A bomb site. And INTZ have got to scurry away.
What a different look to the game now. It's kind of like settled into its normal flow.
Yeah.
That INTZ can't get these like consistent aggressions, which honestly is a huge anomaly on Dust 2. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I think that Dust 2 isn't really like a great map in terms of it offers it's one of the maps that offers the least opportunity on one of the sides that you're playing. So for me personally, I think as the game evolves and people get better at the strategy, tactics, the theory of the game, and everything else, you want an map like Overpass where both sides have loads of options, because then it gets really interesting, and it requires a very high level. And I think we talked about maps earlier, and that's one of the reasons why I think that Valve have a different philosophy. I think they just want to see like the most different maps possible, as opposed to the metric being like from more of a professional perspective.
Well,
like
I think they're interested in finding the right ways to have different maps as well. So I'll give them a little more credit. There's no easy way to do it, I think. I mean, you really could put like a Tuscan version in though, right? You could do that. The people have been screaming up for it for ages.
Well, I mean, for example, if they did, think more along the lines I'm thinking of, the amount of time, reiterations of various maps, like Dust 2, there would be more options on the CT side, It's just kind of stuck. But that's okay, I mean, a really classic map. They're going for a pick. Unable to get that one, that's unfortunate, that's a good opportunity. That's the opportunity for a pick gone, and now cat control has been had by Team Liquid, so the default has arrived at its natural conclusion of cat control.
Oh, that's not much.
Might see the lurk smoke now. Then I'm curious whether Liquid will go for a delayed long take, threaten the A split, or like how they'll actually play this one off, because they have longhouse control and upper dark control, so they have everything available to them.
Ever since Liquid started to get some cat control, they have been way more successful. They've actually hit A off of it, they've faked dig, went mid to B, they've gone cat and went back to long A last round, so it's working out really well for them.
49 seconds. Yell is in the position Dan was referencing before the game started. There's the first jiggle, single scope for Yell. He's not going to land the second connection, and grenades will come his way. He is doomed, surely standing his ground, but he won't get a third shot off, but maybe 2 is enough. But SHZ by the car position, jiggling, dancing. There are grenades from the Ts, but where are the grenades from the CTs? They won't come fast enough. Sand by the window. They've got nothing for the retake, and it is the last round. They've got to go for it. There's one flash, no mollies. Not much else, just that one flash. Where's it going to come from? In fact, Destiny's coming in the apartment, so he can't even really use that effectively. He will ring the bell of Stewie. That might be even better. Running out of bullets, though. Now it's Zand 1 versus 2. Trying to make a play. Water bomb being planted, but he can't quite finish off the job. That was so important for him. He's got a 1v1, and Nafly will deliver that final kill. And Liquid lead by 1 round at half-time. Who takes the pistol in a second? We will find out after the break.
Be like Bottle. Build your own community with your very own hub. Join other hubs and play more maps competitively than ever before. Compete for prizes and win FACEIT points just by playing your favorite games. It really is that simple. Join the community or create your own. Only at FACEIT.com.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
We're live. We're live. We're live. Who is going to take this map? I don't know. James doesn't know. Valence, who's going to win?
I think the way it looks like, no one.
No one wins.
No one looks especially impressive.
I like that answer. No one wins. Misery for everyone.
I think Liquid has the edge because Stewie.
Because Stewie. I like that too.
Twitter tells me that... Oh, I'm really loud.
Yeah,
Twitter tells me that each has 6 knives.
Oh,
Wow.
6 knives.
It's 1 more knife than kills he has right now.
1 for each tournament they won. I don't know actually.
Oh, maybe he treats himself. How did he avoid ketchup for most of his life? I'm actually really interested. He tried ketchup for the first time about 2 months ago.
I remember that.
But that's pretty cool. I mean, like, you know, he hasn't lived a consumer lifestyle, as you can see by the way he approaches the skins in the game as well. But that's pretty cool. That's a great level of discipline because he seems to be a happy person at the same time. He doesn't need these wasteful things. Speaking of waste, everyone's getting wasted like it's Grand Theft Auto. 2 versus 2. Zand sets up a platform plant. Destiny with a P250. It is noted.
Oh, okay.
Nafly hopping off the barrel, but he will not be saved. There is the range coming into play. That P250. Twist now on 1 versus 2. He will be peaked, and there's the headshot. He's got no kit. Is there one on the site? Yes, there's one right in front of him. He collects it. He's been told by his teammates. He needs to find the last play. He's in the Gandalf position. You call it elbow?
Nah, that's Gandalf. Or quad.
Marvelous. He's drawn out the player, and he's got time to do it. They pushed him. They walked into the peak. They gave him a 1 versus 1. They threw the round.
Elbow is from Bricks to Gandalf. That area is Elbow.
Which is Bricks?
Bricks is like where you throw the setup smoke right next to it.
Oh.
Or the lurk smoke, however you call it.
Gotcha.
They just went and peeked him in a 2 versus 1. And gave him 1 versus 1. And then they lost the round. I feel like there's a better way to play that. And the map 2 odds, INTZ now are 5+. French gun is out on Stewie. And we know his FAMAS skin sucks.
Very badly.
The Kriegs are out though. The bomb was planted, the Krieg party. Maybe INTZ wanted to lose the round. So they could reset in this one. And
Yeah, but
put
look
the
at
lost
this
bonus in
Krieg.
the bin.
Look at this skin.
I know, we're being subjected
It's
to it again.
disgusting. Stop,
It
please
really is gross.
It's like blueberry cream cheese.
God, that whatever cheese that is looks like it needs
It's like
to be
blueberries.
set on fire. That does not look like blueberries. Why are you doing this to me? I am genuinely
It's
offended.
blueberry purple.
Okay, you're just
blue.
being an idiot now.
Blueberry. We have the push coming in, and Naps there with the scout, ready to deliver. But unfortunately, they're getting way too close at this point. Some tags being had, but they can't get the finishing blows. Chris doing the Lord's work over at the long position, but he's going to take some heavy damage. Nitro. I don't think there's a gun for Nitro to upgrade to, so it might be difficult, but he will come in. Looks like Destiny is going to be taking all the damage. Twist now uses that opportunity to push forwards as well, but now it's down to Nitro. And Yell, that's a close one. Well, there you go, quad kill from Yell with the Kriegs. Looks like the plan.
This is the master plan.
The plan was successful.
Give 1v1s and a 2v1 on the pistol round. Reset the CT economy on their second round, so they've got their loss bonus at absolute minimum. And then take the lead.
Lens, do you think it's viable on T side to
5-man eco,
most, no, well, not
and rush a bomb site to plant the bomb, and then you got mad money in the next round.
Yeah, so you guarantee the bomb plant somehow by spend almost no money. Then you can have $4,200, $4,100, I think it is, if you get like a couple kills as well, after losing a round.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, no, I don't think that's viable. I mean, it is viable, but it shouldn't be.
Right. Okay.
I think that I'm gonna have a policy now for all my games on stream. If I remember, which I probably won't, but if I do, full eco on every T pistol. We must plant the bomb.
And you're gonna throw the round.
Look, it's the mid to B. It's the mid to B smoke. That's the mid to B smoke.
Oh, excellent.
You line it up with the window, top of the window, let go at the bottom of the window, and there you go, mid to B smoke.
Nice, Liggy.
INTZ pushing long. They may not be able to get to use this mid to B smoke. A late chance to try and pull rotation, not quite going to work. Squeeze in the lower tunnel, and it's just a Liege left with the scout on the A bomb site. He fears a short play. INTZ slowing it down now, and we've got a conga line, the caterpillar, the worm of T players. Will extend itself, it'll wriggle to the mid position. That mid to B smoke has come and gone. Liege will be circumvented, it seems. He can look over the smoke towards the door at the very least. Going for the no-scopes, going for the quick scopes, the quick flicks. That's nothing doing.
Wow. So much success for INTZ. This is really scary because the amount of momentum you can take if you have a good T-side game plan after losing the pistol, but getting the following round is pretty enormous. Yell's already on an AWP as well. Wait, Yell's 20 for 6.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's what we wanted.
I told you, man.
That's a stealth Yell performance. Suddenly he's got 20 frags and 6 deaths.
INTZ has a lot more kills than Liquid total. Like, I think like 15, 20 more kills total. And they are tied.
But this is the T sides are traditionally more difficult for INTZ. And they can be more difficult for a lot of teams at the who aren't tier 1. There is a disparity between the two sides. Will there be on Dust 2 though? Dust 2 is different in that respect.
INTZ had 63 kills.
Where's the rest of your sentence?
I have to count the others.
You thought you would just start with 1 and then make us sit here while you count the others.
51 on Liquid, something like that.
Oh man, it is entertaining.
Yeah, 51.
There's no show like ECS.
63.
Got there in the end.
It's like the Sesame Street.
You
That's
didn't even use
dedication,
the
I like
Chinese abacus. We haven't introduced you to the Chinese. We'll show you tomorrow.
I'm down.
The Chinese abacus. The manual is very long. Cello makes it to the sites. He is the scout. He's the information man. He is the expendable person. He is the... Actually, I'll stop there. It's too early for some of my humor. 9 to 9, as SH said, moves back. He's got a tight choke point, trying to... I think he was undecided on which player to aim at. And they'll both shoot him to nothing. Elite creeping, playing off of his teammates, can't quite hit the headshot, but it is INTZ now to take the lead as expected after the reset in the second round of the second half.
It's going to be a hard road. It's the hard road back for Liquid. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do. They're on the CT side. And this is the thing, like when you're in this position, this map can have variance because you can't do very much on the CT side. So if you're having a bad time, it's hard to take the initiative. And sometimes you're simply left just to stew in your own, well, lack of options. Like you have to just react. You have to react to the other team and what they're doing. And if you don't have a solution for it, then you're in trouble because getting aggressive on them is difficult. And it can often be kind of minus EV. 5 M4s, no AWP for Team Liquid, which is really a sign of desperation. These are the buys that get you in trouble, I feel like, sometimes. You know, only 2 incendiaries, 1 kits.
I hope they maintain control of something the entire round, but INTZ looks like they're going to go into B straight up.
I saw like 3 mollies, they know it's going to be a B, although there's 3 players up a targ. So that's some key information. Though Nafly did die at the A bomb site. Very cheeky there from Cello. That's such a weird opener of the round, like, you know, throwing 3 Molotovs in front of that smoke. That's so bizarre.
Yeah, and yeah, it didn't make really any sense. Because that guy mid, just to get him out, that's not worth it at all.
It's confusing though. Like if I was on Liquid, I'd be like, what the hell are they doing? I do not understand. Now it's all quiet. What are they up to here? I mean, you have a bunch of options. 4v4 on Dust 2, you got so many options on the T side. You can do whatever the hell you want. They got 3 smokes, Molotov, and flash. Late retake long could be pretty sick. Obviously, they know that they killed a player on A. Plus, when you wait, when you reset a situation like this, A side's always better because very often they're very split up with CTs in comparison to the B bomb site. And so they're going to go for that late long take. Spotted one of the players, but not really committing out here. I feel like they could definitely use a number advantage. Back to middle now. Stevie gets a pick. Indecision from INTZ might cost them.
The bomb has been found. I don't think it fell down to CT spawn though, which is always a threat if you're too close to the ridge, but at this point, doesn't matter. 1 versus 4 with 13 HP for SHZ. Perhaps not a slow round.
This is one of those classic examples of overcomplicating things. This is the most common situation on Dust 2 where you should have a protocol, like you know, like that they're going to split 2 to a bomb site. They can't really afford to have too much presence in mid. You can go to either bomb site, doesn't matter. You just have to commit to one and do it properly with the players. They had 3 smokes, so they could do anything.
Yeah, and they were trying to hit A with the guy lurking B in a 4v4 with low time. So again, the last guy is going to be useless, best case scenario.
Overcomplications.
Spreading yourself too thin.
And that could be the thing that gets Liquid back into the game now, because again, Liquids, I really don't think they could have defended against a proper attack.
Especially at A. They were what? One was pit, one was ramp.
Yeah. I always wonder what you like. It's interesting because you know that if Liquid are playing against Astralis in that situation, you understand that Astralis is going to take the strongest options. So you know you have to, like, you can't just sit in those positions if you're a Team Liquid.
I was surprised they didn't group up at A.
Right. Yeah. No. Like often teams like could do a 1-3 stack or something like that, so they can at least save one spot or have a good defense there. But against INTZ, it seems like Liquid are just like, you know what, we're just gonna see what they do.
Invite them to make their own mistakes.
Yeah, and it happens.
An extra gear to this scrapbook in this particular matchup. Nitro only good for the 1, and we got fast frags from INTZ as they take position on the B bomb site. Is this a save for Liquid? They outmaneuver. There's not much for them to do. Cello jumping into a Molotov, which is not advisable, but he will survive.
Ouch.
Yeah, they can't go for this. So it's just there's no point at this juncture. Also, Money is getting somewhat nervous for Team Liquid. Well, perhaps for both teams.
There's some odd gambles going on here. They played 1B, 4 towards A. Was Liege even boosted at the CT box, or was he just in CT spawn? I couldn't tell.
I'm not sure. But the weird thing too is that there's no cause to really do it, because INTZ are not really, they're not really hammering A long. They're not showing that this is a part of their game plan. So you don't even need to put 4 towards A.
That seems just like a straight up gamble, and I mean, even if it paid off, it wouldn't make sense why it paid off.
Right, yeah. Yeah, don't want to be outcome dependent. And on top of that as well, I can understand sometimes why teams do it, because you can really abuse fast long spawns and fast cat timings or mid timings, because you can run out suicide because the CTs throw the smoke to prevent themselves getting sniped. But at the same time, like, that is still, again, INTZ have not been showing that they're doing these things, so 4-A at the beginning of the round might not be the one.
Where is that going?
Is that brick smoke? Where is that?
Wow.
Okay. Well, that one hasn't paid off.
Oh my god.
Naf was like, oh, is this a smoke for me?
I mean, he could have bounced a flash. If he's running up cat, he could bounce a flash off the window at least. So
maybe he missed the smoke. Maybe that was supposed to be fully covered.
flush.
Yeah. That is really funny though.
Well, that's an interesting one. Maybe to be reviewed later by INTZ. They've taken long at the very least. They've lost their player in short. So I think they were going for a fast play of long and short at the same time, but it didn't quite work out.
This is the difference between Liquid and INTZ. You see, I think Stu pushed mid to lower B. He just cleared upper B right now. And now Nitro's rotating all the way to A. They have all the info. This is going to be interesting because it looks like INTZ is rotating back to B. But either way, this is a high percentage play by Stu. He's probably going to get 1 or 2 here. And we'll see.
They make sound. I think there was a step. Stu, great angle. Beautiful. Gets the second one. Oh, and all 3 fall. The bomb at his feet. And that is beautiful execution from Stewie.
We saw one of those high percentages, it seems.
It's such a strong angle because he's really far from the peaking, the corner of that they're peaking, and he's got a right eye versus their left eye. That's like a super deadly angle.
That's a situation where Liquid's up, man up, but Stu still decides to push mid, and it's because the percentages are so much more in his favor. And even if he gets caught out pushing mid there, the team knows exactly what's going down, Liquid. So I think that's a good thing for a lot of people watching to kind of know it's not just about playing safe when you're man up or playing aggressive when you're man down. It's situations that call for aggression, not the situation of the round only.
Yeah. It's beautiful to see. That's one of the evolutions of CS at the top level now that's really satisfying to watch. Teams are so much better at understanding the space that they can take, that they're offered. And that's just down to better communication and better understanding of the game. Really awesome to see. And that, again, might make a difference. And here comes the long take. Very aggressive stuff from INTZ. 2 players in pit. You would definitely not expect that. Wow. Okay, that's a rocket jump, basically.
You really wouldn't be expecting this, would you?
And interesting. This was kind of strange because of the positioning of both Yell and also Cello. It seemed like INTZ wanted to commit everyone in there, but they just only sent 2 forwards. And then kind of bailed on the whole long take idea. Oh, this is... That is amazing. That is so amazing. You can tell they've never tried that before.
Well, they've made it to short. 50 seconds on the clock. Destiny's creeping towards B with a P250. And the remainder are watching some flames come and go in that short position. But where will they head? They're against a full team. Will they read as probably 2B and 3A? Maybe. Elijah's making his way towards CT spawn though. 25 seconds on the clock, and Twist is so deep on long.
I feel like they should have just saved here. Their money bonus is not good either.
Well, in they go into the crossfire of the CT side, and it is as it probably should be. Pre-fire from Stewie, and indeed they barely get through the choke point. Stewie making sure they're not faking on the floor. FYI, I am a spy. It's not TF2. Yeah, this was a suicide mission. But they keep the money together. Maybe that was a bigger goal, but it did no impact to the CT economy in that round.
The weird thing is that it's a really close game, even though it feels like Liquid is so much a better team, you know. Well, I'm going to get a quick long rush here. Leech wants some more frags. And you get all the info. But yeah, INTZ now, they'll be down a couple rounds. Liquid with the momentum, with the economy secured. How much money do they have? Let's look. Okay, so they're in a really good spot. They can afford to lose a round and still like full buy.
I want to see the 3 molly B round again and see where they were going with that.
Yeah.
Just rush to B tunnels and throw 3 mollies.
It's so weird, isn't it? Because you can't be aggressive with it, and it's 100% a waste of money. Because, I mean, if you're trying to molly the corner, I guess, then one Molotov can do that.
There we go. Round number 2 with that smoke on the short position. This is the smoke for CT spawn, I believe. Yeah, there it goes. Slight variation to the way I threw it, but it's essentially the same thing. And Cello is trying to make his way to catch into CT for a split of the B bomb site. So maybe it had a part deux, and this is it. But will it be successful? It's a very fast-moving round, and there are plenty of open targets for Naflight to land, and he'll land all of them. That leaves Zand alone. So I wonder if the first part had the second part in mind. First part, they tried to split the A bomb site. They do the same smoke grenade with that fast mid to B smoke to sorry, there's fast CT smoke on A. Maybe to pull the CTs out of position, but again, it's had mixed results. These fast plays from INTZ, not the one. Zand puts the smoke in T-spawn, and when he does that, well, I mean, Stewie's already through B tunnels. He is absolutely surrounded. Never mind the bomb, they know exactly where he is and exactly where he was now.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's part of the earth, part of the molecules and atoms lying on the floor, festering together.
This is a good tip for people watching too. If you're gonna call an all-in strat, you should continue committing, because INTZ got kind of stuck outside mid, and they could have gone through the door smoke, they could have gone through window, but they chose not to, and then they got punished, getting flanked from CT by Nav. So if it's an all-in strat, you know, gotta commit. If you gotta go through a molly, go through a molly. Otherwise, have a fallback plan. Don't be in between.
Yep. That's a huge issue in PUG Counter-Strike 2. People don't want to commit, they want to bait. And
hesitation, fear.
Yeah, here we are, 14-11, and Team Liquid looked to have stabilized. If you missed the first map, it was fairly close, but Team Liquids did come out the victors, and INTZ. It feels like a similar map, honestly, in terms of how it's looked. Liquid look like they're better players and better team, but it feels like they should be having more rounds somehow. It's very strange. But credit to INTZ, I think they've improved a lot as a team, and they'll continue to do so. I think their philosophy has changed around the game, so I think they're moving in a good direction. Team Liquid are certainly a tough opponent. And we won't get the triple mollies, but we'll get a B push from the tunnels. Both Stewie and Nitro on the other end of this. Oh.
Oh, yes. Oh, drill him. Home improvement. DVD box set. Match point for Team Liquid. INTZ have run out of ideas, it seems. That was the gauntlet into the circular saw. It's a horror movie. The Kriegs are out. Cello of 4,900. Hasn't bought just yet. What is he considering? CZ75, the Galil, he's prioritized the utility. He had to get his Chinese abacus out, a slight delay, but he has bought now. Krieg party with cameo appearance from the Galil. My Galil is named No Money for AK, sad face. Destiny will pick off Elige, maybe they're not done just yet. Stewie jumping through the smoke. This is Carnage, it's a scrimmy style which often favors North American players, but South Americans are in the lead for now. 3 CTs remain, and everything slows down.
Map investigating. Oh, almost a lineup down to 1 HP, my goodness. And he's the AWPer too, so the fact that he's still alive means he can still do a huge amount of damage.
He could be killed by a decoy grenade.
He could be killed by a lot of things. So they can decide who's going to take the peak. Krieg or AWP? It's like, not sure which is better.
The AWP jumps for the Krieg. Oh man.
All bunching together, which is a positive. Twist has no grenades. He's alone on the A-bomb site. He is Twist though, which means that anything is possible. Looking for the transfer, unable to find it.
Why did he peek there already? That's a bit of an odd decision.
They've got no one long. Maybe he felt like he had to make a forward play around that smoke. I don't know.
Maybe he
was in a
thought the
pretty
molly
tight
was
spot
coming to him.
regardless. Yeah. With no help whatsoever in any fashion. Probably felt compelled to make a forward play. Maybe slow things down. What is Nafly's intention? Looks like they want to take guns away. Okay, they've got so much money, they're falling over cash.
Yeah.
Just create some shortcomings in the T economy. Through the wall.
Oh no, why would you do that?
Will you
Cello,
get
don't
there?
die.
Will you get there? Just at the end of the round, just before it moves on, uses final bullets. Smart stuff, great awareness, but it's another match point for Team Liquid, and there's a few more to come.
Time for INTZ to lock it in. Get rid of that money, bring us over time, show that Brazilian power.
That Lusa Libre.
Yeah, the Duke. So Liquid with a going into a 2-1-2. Got Legion CT spawn already. Oh, that's a new way to do it. I haven't seen that way before.
That's a smart way, because the normal way people do it invites them to get shot in the head immediately after throwing the grenade. So that way it allows him to actually fall back before it lands.
Right.
So you're not telegraphing your position as quickly as you are otherwise.
It looked like you looked just directly up too, so easy to do.
Because people have been getting punished for that. As soon as you see the smoke, AWP shot in the face.
So late long take, going for the A split here, INTZ. It's a very classic maneuver, and it's strong. Twist, you know, considering the bomb is here, Twist could make all the difference. We'll see how many he can get, and whether he'll get the support from Naf. Naf actually, so if this is timed well, INTZ can do a lot of damage if they get the flashes as well. But Naf will kick things off. That's exactly what you don't want to have happen if you're INTZ, because now Twist doesn't have any pressure. He can peek as he wants to. The bomb is there. They have to go and get it. This is looking desperate. This is looking labored. This is looking bad for INTZ, who now down 3 against the 5 of Liquid. The creep from Cello, the desperation play, anything to try to save this one.
They're still fighting long, and there's 18 seconds on the clock, and that's where the match will be won. 4 players alive at the end for Team Liquid. 16-12 over INTZ. A long game, but ultimately the higher tier team will be victorious, and these highlights are brought to you by NVIDIA.
I feel like one flashbang could have made all the difference on the take to long there, but you know what? it wasn't to be for INTZ. However, they've improved a lot, and I think there's so many small things that they could easily fix. So I'm excited to see what they can do in the future, but Team Liquid definitely the better side here. What do you make of this all, Balance?
I think they have a lot of things to be proud of. INTZ. They obviously took down Cloud9 yesterday, and they kept things competitive. They kept losing early battles in the rounds, and then coming back, and then they weren't too far off. I think if they clean up a little bit of their mid game, they seem to be a little bit, kind of stretched thin a lot on the T side, where in the mid game they should maybe be a little bit more useful to your teammates and play together at least. So I think if they fixed just that piece of it, they would have won some of these close rounds on T side and potentially take Dust 2.
Definitely seeing INTZ on an upward trajectory. Progress is being made. They have developed. They are evolving slowly but surely. Scores on the doors in front of you. Stewie's turn to have a nice performance. 25 for 14 on Dust 2. Had some nice plays on Mirage and had some nice ones on Dust 2 as well. Indeed, it is a 2-0 for Team Liquid. Now the first team to make it to our finals. They would be playing the likes of ATK or Complexity. Those two teams will be duking it out tomorrow in our second semi-final of this week to see who takes on Team Liquid. They know who their opponent is, but what can they do about it? Can they get themselves there? Who on earth knows? Quick check of the clock, because I think it is actually 45 minutes before this changes. Enough about that. We will quickly come and go. HyperX play of the game. HyperX Factor play of the game. It's time. What is it going to be? I'm not quite sure, but we'll soon see what they've chosen in the back. Show me the money.
I have no idea what this one will be.
Stewie's 3K?
Yes.
Fish,
Man like Stewie.
Push.
Great positioning. He dealt with it with the M4A4. Very, very nice. And there's a fourth of the round from him as well. Stewie, congratulations to you, sir. You said you were going to get a classic knife. I don't see it yet in your inventory. Let's not disappoint. You've always got tomorrow another game on the stream. But off expects. That is going to bring our show to a close. But before we go, let's not forget there are cups available on the FACEIT platform. You can type in ECS at the top of your search bar, look for the organizer page, follow the ECS account and look for those cups, because there are points and prizes 2v1. Get on the servers. You know I'm going to be on the servers, KZ, then some 5 versus 5, some pistol run ecos on the T side. Everyone's ecos, a full team eco to get them Kriegs in the round 2. BM galore, look out for it. And GLHF on the servers. Unless you're playing against me, then I hope you lose, because I want that elo. See you tomorrow.